that 1948 era, you have to give the more concentrations. Then next week we will have a selective dynasties and rules. Yesterday I was telling also Vijayanagara dynasty, Magadha dynasty, Maurya dynasty, Chera Chola Pandya dynasty, Delhi Sultanate and Mughal Sultanate, Kakatiya dynasty. Only selective dynasty they are giving more focus there that we have to practice. Okay, I will give that all the GK what you have to study, only selective GK, that I will send it to you today or tomorrow. Probably tomorrow I will send it. Okay, so please keep, because it is a very smart work. This is what I want to tell to everybody. Clearing UPSC, it is a smart work, not a hard work. If you look at the text, I mean question paper, previous question paper, you can see the weightage coming from different chapter and topic. Okay, so maybe one or two questions may ask from ancient history, but let it be there. So, but you cannot concentrate all the ancient history. If you have time, we can do also today. That was a discussions with the principal and all these things because of time problems. Okay, and inform me if you want any additional class in the evenings, because you have to prepare also. Self study is required. That's what they are also feeling. Boys must get time for preparing themselves also. So I cannot interfere. I cannot disturb your practice. Okay, so that is also my worries. Uh, we would have class a little early. I don't know, that is what, but anyway, I don't want to waste times. Jayendraj, tell me, after this 5 o'clock, what is the next program? Jayant. Okay. Kabiram, can you tell me what is the next
Yes,
program after 5 o'clock? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
After 5 o'clock, what is the program? At what time? Janish, what time?
Until 6 to 8, sir.
6 o'clock.
6 to 8. Can I extend another 15 to 30 minutes? Okay. Oh, 6 to 8 o'clock. Okay. And now I don't want to waste time. So already time is up. Here, I'm going to discuss today. We are going to discuss about today is there only Gandhian era. That means Gandhian era start from 1915 onwards. 1915, Gandhi came from South Africa through England. He reached India, Sabarmati Ashram and all. He did that. That we are going to discuss today about the Gandhi contribution only. Okay, we will discuss about that once. Wait 1 minute. Can you see this one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You should understand one thing before going for this, because Gandhian era start from 1915 onwards. So 1915 to 1948 is known as Gandhian era. You should understand the Gandhi was born in Porbandar. I am not going for that basic knowledge. As 1869, October 2nd, you know very well. This October 2nd is known as, why I want to tell October 2nd, because it is known as International Non-Violence Day. Okay, it is or Antarashtriya Ahimsa Day or Divas. Don't forget October 2nd. So October 2nd is not only Gandhi Jayanti, it is also known as, it is declared by UNO, that's a International Non-Violence Day, October 2nd. So October 2nd, it is not only Gandhi Jayanti. In order to commemorate the birth date of Gandhiji, UNO declared October 2nd as a International Non-Violence Day. They don't forget. And his political guru, Gandhi's political guru, a number of times, many of the examination been asking there, Gopalakrishna Gokhale there. Gopalakrishna Gokhale was the political guru of Gandhiji, and his private secretary was Mahadeva Desai. Okay, don't forget. These are the some of the things we can tell also. And Mahatma Gandhiji is being called different names there. Some are called there Mahatma. Mahatma, the word being called and used by Rabindranath Tagore's in 1917. So 1917, this is a basic knowledge I'm sharing with you. Mahatma, the word was first used by Rabindranath Tagore in the year of 1917, don't forget. And other people called him also like Malanga Baba, okay, otherwise Nanga Fakir or Naked Saint. That was actually used by Northwest Frontier. Okay, Kabbalists, they used that word also there. Indian Fakir or Indian Naked Saint. That was first used by Winston Churchill, who was the main person played a role during the time of the Second World War times. Indian Fakir, that word was used by Winston Churchill. Mahatma, the word used by Rabindranath Tagore. Don't forget about this one. Rashtrapita, that word was used by Subhash Chandra Bose in 1944. So these are the different names what we use generally. Bapu, that word is actually used by Rabindranath Tagore. Okay, that is also very important point that you have to understand. So I discuss here Indian Fakir, or we call it as Bapu or Mahatma, or we call it as a Rashtrapita. These are the different titles used for Mahatma Gandhi's in different period of the times by the different peoples. Okay, Winston Churchill was the Prime Minister of England. He started using that one Fakir, Indian Fakir. Okay, that means the naked person. That's the meaning, Indian naked persons. Rashtrapita, Rashtrapita, father of nations, that been used by Subhash Chandra Bose in the year of 1944. So this is the basic things about the Gandhiji, and some of the works he has written there. Hindu Swaraj. Hindu Swaraj is one of the books written by Gandhiji in the year of 1909. My Experiments with the Truth. It is a purely autobiography. It was written in 1927. So first one, Hindu Swaraj. Hindu Swaraj in 1909. My Experiments with the Truth, it is 1927, and reveals events of Gandhiji's life up to 22. So these are the different what is there works there. So don't for in different things I told you. Mainly remember Hindu Swaraj and My Experiments with what is there Truth, the purely autobiography. At least you remember these two books names. I told about October 2nd is known as International Non-Violence Day. I told his political guru Gopalakrishna Gokhale and his assistant, otherwise his private secretary, because many times we discuss about Mahadeva Desai. So you have to remember. Then Rabindranath Tagore called him as we discussed also like Mahatma Gandhiji. We always tell that one also very important. The Fakir, the word mainly used by Winston Churchill. Then Subhash Chandra Bose used Rashtrapita. So don't forget these different names what we used for Gandhiji there. Gandhiji went to South Africa. It is for a lawyer job there. Okay, Gujarati merchants appointed Gandhiji as a company law. That is the main reason Gandhiji went to South Africa. That happens in 1893. He went to South Africa. 1893, 1869 he was born, and 1893 he went to South Africa for a job there. That you have to understand. And first organization started by Gandhiji, that was in South Africa. Remember that was Natal Indian Congress. Natal is a place in South Africa. That's what is known as Natal Indian Congress. That was the first organizations established by, set up by Gandhiji. This is a very important point, my dear children. Since I am felt that is a basic, so that's why I did not incorporate with this one. So you have to understand what I'm telling there. So October 2nd is known as International Non-Violence Day. Don't forget. Then his political guru. Okay, don't forget Gopalakrishna Gokhale. Don't forget, that is very important. Then his private secretary. Don't forget. Okay, Mahadeva Desai. Don't forget about this ones. It is very very important. Then different names. Different names. It is very important. Gandhiji, we discussed Mahatma, we discussed Fakir, we discussed about Rashtrapita, we discussed about Bapu. Okay, don't forget about that one also, very very important there. Who gave these names in different period of the times, that is very important. But remember one thing, though the this Gopalakrishna Gokhale was the political guru of Gandhiji, but unfortunately he died. That means when this the Gandhi era starts. Gandhi era started in 1915. that Gopalakrishna died in the same year. Okay, same year Gopalakrishna Gokhale died. 1915 Gopalakrishna Gokhale died. So Gandhiji came 1915, but he did not involve in any political activities in India until unless he was invited to Bihar to attend the Champaran revolt there. So Champaran revolt was the first event attended by Gandhiji there. Okay, that is also in Lucknow. There was a Indian National Congress session in Lucknow. Gandhiji attended that Indian National Congress meet there. Then what happened there? He was invited. He was invited to Bihar by a persons, we call it as Rajkumar Shukla. There you can see here also Rajkumar Shukla, an indigo cultivator. He invited Gandhiji to Champaran revolt in 1917. Not in 1917, he invited 1 year before 1916 only Gandhiji was invited, but he came to this address his problems in 1917. So this is the first. Some boys ask me, sir, is it the first civil disobedience movement? We'll discuss about that also. So first movement started by Gandhiji in India is Champaran revolt there. Okay, don't forget, my dear children, why it is known as a civil disobedience movement. Civil disobedience means what? That means breaking the order of the British directions. British, they wanted to force the indigo cultivators, and imposing more tax on them also, and force them to cultivate indigo alone. But people, they don't want to do. That means that they disobey the order. That is why it is known as a civil disobedience movement. Okay, civil disobedience movement, we say that. And similarly, Kheda, Satyagraha, we call it as a first non-cooperation movement. Why do we say that when Champaran revolt is there, first disobedience movement? Because Gandhiji and the indigo cultivators in Bihar, Champaran in Bihar, they refused all the order of British officials. That is why it is known as civil disobey the movement there. Okay, but truly speaking, the civil disobedience start not like this. It started in 1930, 1930 to 1932. That is a civil disobedience movements, means main civil disobedience movements. Champaran Satyagraha, Champaran revolt is known as first civil disobedience movements because they disobey the order of the British officials. That is why it can be considered as a first civil disobedience movement. But if you start learning about the civil disobedience movements, you should understand 1930, 31 and 32. Don't forget about it. Okay, this is why I am telling also 1916 Gandhiji attended Lucknow, sessions, Indian National Congress sessions, where Rajkumar Shukla also came there, invited Gandhiji to attend this Champaran Satyagraha in Bihar in the year of 1917. Okay, because this movement disobey the order of what is there British officials. Very important. Why they invited Gandhiji? There are two reasons. One is their heavy tax, because reason and assertion, this type of question can ask also. Heavy tax they have to pay, an exploitative system. That means they were forced, compulsory, they have to cultivate indigo. Whereas Indian farmers, they wanted to cultivate food crops, not cash crops. Whereas this indigo was considered as purely what is there, cash crops there. Why they want indigo as a cash crops there? You might have studied in class 8 there, because of the rich, what is a dye can be made from this Indian indigo there. Had a huge demand in the European market and high price also. But the availability of the indigo dye in European market was limited. So it was so costly in European market. So they wanted to cultivate only indigo, because so that they can earn more money. So I'm not going more detail about that one. So what happened there? They forced the Indian cultivators to have a indigo there. Then you have to ask why it is a Champaran place, because it is a northern plains, in the most fertile plain. It's a purely tropical crops there. Generally, it grows in the tropical region there, not temperate region. Okay, so here Indian climate was suitable for the cultivation of what is there, indigo. Similarly, cotton. Indian cotton also had a huge demand in the European market because of the length of the staples. The quality of the cotton mainly depends upon the length. So Indian cotton has the length, so it has good demand in the European market. Another one I told, indigo, because of the rich color of this dye, what we used for the textile industries. So because of that reason, they forced the Indian farmers to cultivate only this cash crops indigo. Okay, so what happened whereas farmers they refused to do so because they wanted to cultivate food crops there. So this is Gandhiji's first experiment on Satyagraha by Gandhiji. See, it is written there also here. Bapu, the name was given by Devendranath Tagore. Bapu, otherwise Mahatma. That means Champaran Revolt, 1917. Devendranath Tagore addressed Gandhiji as said Bapu, otherwise Mahatma. So first you have to understand why this Champaran revolt is known as civil disobedience movement, because that all the what is indigo cultivators along with the Gandhiji refused all the order of or they disobeyed all the order of British officials there. That is why it is known as, it can be called as, it can be recognized as what is considered as first civil disobedience movements. Don't mistaken with the civil disobedience movements happened from 1932 to 1932. Don't forget, Champaran revolt also can be called as a civil disobedience movements because they disobeyed. Don't forget. So who invited Gandhiji? Rajkumar Shukla. Who is Rajkumar Shukla? Indigo cultivators. Okay, so where they invited their Lucknow sessions in the year of 1916. That means Gandhiji, though he came in 1915, Gandhiji was moving around and he was studying about the activities and the problems and addressing the people's, listening their problems. He was not actively participating. Gandhiji's active participations in the freedom struggles started by Champaran revolt in 1917. Don't forget, my dear children, in this one only Ravindranath Tagore addressed Gandhiji as Bapu or Mahatma. Don't forget. Okay, so Gandhiji was addressed by the different people in different times. I told Rashtrapita, the name was addressed by Subhash Chandra Bose. That in for 1944 there. Okay, Winston Churchill, you might be in, we discussed also. Okay, Winston Churchill, he addressed Gandhiji as an Indian fakir. That happens in 1931. So, first address to the Gandhiji, that was done by Ravindranath Tagore, Bapu or Mahatma. Don't forget. So, question me if you ask, and which event made Gandhiji getting the title of Bapu or Mahatma? You have to remember Champaran Satyagraha 1917. First movement by Gandhiji. Okay, it is a purely civil disobedience movement. Okay, so Gandhiji movement I am telling there. I told Gandhiji already went to Africa. 1893 he went there. He formed the first one Congress organization, associations. Nadal, Indian Congress, they founded there also. Then he's actively participated one war there. That means Boer War. It is very famous war in South Africa. Okay, where only he is getting the title there. He got one titles. Gandhiji was awarded a titles because of his active participation during the Boer War there. You might have heard also Kaisari Hind. Kaisari Hind, the title given to Gandhiji because of his active participations. Okay, in during the Boer War in South Africa. Anyway, he surrendered that titles in later stages that we'll discuss also there. Okay, Ravindranath Tagore also surrendered, means given back the title what they got from this Britain people and everything. So you have to remember one thing: Gandhiji went there for doing job there in South Africa, not for what is this kind of differences or because of the apartheid or because of the discrimination. He went for as a company lawyer too. That means Gujarati merchant had a company in South Africa. So he appointed Mahatma Gandhiji as a lawyer. So he went to South Africa there. But after going there, he saw the complete situation in South Africa. Then he started actively participating in different activities. And he started all his satyagraha, all these civil disobedience movements. Okay, everything, hunger strikes, everything he started first in South Africa. Don't forget. But the first organization started by Gandhiji, that is very important also. Natal Congress. Natal Congress means you have to remember Natal. Natal means it is a place name. Okay, like Delhi Congress, Lucknow Congress. Likewise, Natal Congress. That was the first organization started by Gandhiji in South Africa. Next year, this is 1893, he reached, he went to South Africa. 1894, he started this organization. Don't forget, that was the first organization. Then why he got this title, Kaisari Hind? Kaisari Hind, why he got this award there? It is because of his active participations in the Boer War. Don't forget, okay, where British titled this to Gandhiji. Don't forget about it. Then first civil disobedience actually asking where he actually started. Again, I want to tell till 1915. That means 1893 to 1893 to 1915. Gandhiji was actively participating in South Africa there. But where he started his first civil disobedience movements, whether in South Africa or India, you should understand it is in purely South Africa. South Africa against Asiatic ordinance in Transvaal. That was the first movements. Okay, first civil disobedience movement started by Gandhiji when he was in South Africa against an ordinance. That ordinance name is known as Asiatic ordinance. You don't need to study in details. If you go to details, it will take more time and all these things. That you have to remember always. In Transvaal, that time he was in Transvaal. So first civil disobedience movements. Okay, in against ordinance passed in Transvaal. That is the first civil disobedience movement. First civil disobedience movements known in India is Champaran Satyagraha. Real civil disobedience movements in 1930, 31 and 32. Okay, again he started a second time civil disobedience movements, but it was failure in 1932. It was a failure because nobody supported him. Similarly happened non-cooperation also. Second times he tried, but it was a failure because people lost faith on non-cooperation movement or civil disobedience movements in second times. Okay, that and all we're going to discuss now. Gandhi era is very important, my dear children. So we'll go discuss in detail. So first civil disobedience movements, I told against ordinance passed in Transvaal. That is very important also there. Okay, first time he made imprisonments, jail imprisonments. That happens in when he was in Johannesburg. That also in South Africa. So first civil disobedience, first hunger strike, first satyagraha, first imprisonment, everything when he was in South Africa. That you have to remember always. First his jail term is there, Johannesburg jail. That was his first things that you have to understand. Then before coming here, there was a satyagraha. Okay, satyagraha started in a Cape Towns in South. Then remember always, before coming only India, Gandhiji did everything. That means civil disobedience movements, hunger strikes, the satyagraha, imprisonments, everything he did or he got or he did in South Africa before coming to India. Then he came to India after first he left South Africa. He went to Britain because of his wife treatments. He went to Britain. From there he came to India finally there. Okay, you have to understand that is very clearly there. So don't forget his two literary works, My Experiments with the Truth and Hindu Swaraj. Don't forget. Okay, 1909 and 1927. Don't forget these two things. Okay, it is very very important. Don't forget. My Experiments with the Truth is biography. Okay, another one is not a biography there. So both you have to remember. Then who are all gave name to this Gandhiji is very important. Okay, Mahatma Bapu, who gave Rabindranath Tagore. Indian Fakir, that means half naked person, that is given by Winston Churchill. Then Rashtrapita given by Subhash Chandra Bose. You have to remember always. So first is movement in India, Champaran revolt. Don't forget about this one. Second one is there Kheda Satyagraha, Kheda revolt there. It is actually first non-cooperation movement. Britishers forcing them to do what is but they did not do. What actually this Kheda movement in 1918? Different books are showing different year. Don't forget first one. So remember one thing. These two things you have to remember always. That means Champaran revolt 1970 and Kheda as well as Ahmedabad, both in same year only there. First non-cooperation movements. Non-cooperation movement you studied there 1920 to 1922. That is a non-cooperation movements. But Kheda Satyagraha can be called as first non-cooperation movements because what happens there? They did not do or they did not help or they did not cooperate British official to do so that. What actually Kheda Satyagraha? It is very important point that what is there during famine times and farmers were forced to give tax there. So they were not ready to give tax. They don't want to give tax. So here crops were failed in Kheda districts because of the drought there. Government refused for exemption of the tax there. In this Kheda Satyagraha only Sardar Vallabhai Patel played very important roles. Don't forget who is the leader of Kheda Satyagraha in Gujarat. you have to write Sardar Vallabhai Patel, not Gandhiji. Okay, so in Gujarat, who was the leader of this one? Sardar Vallabhai Patel's. Okay, Sardar Vallabhai Patel inviting Gandhiji. Gandhiji is coming to Kheda. I told Champaran, I told also invitations by the Rajkumar Shukla. Here, Sardar Vallabhai Patel, who was the leader of this Kheda Satyagraha, invited Gandhiji to present in Kheda, okay, in protest against the collection of the tax during the time of drought or famine. No food and climate is so dry. So they were unable to produce anything. They were unable to cultivate anything, but British forced to, what is it, pay the tax. Here, they did not pay tax. They refused to pay the tax there. They were not cooperating with the Britishers. So it is known as first non-cooperation movement. We can say also this first ones. Don't forget about this ones. And Gandhiji used the first time Satyagraha or hunger strike, first times in Ahmedabad mill strikes there. Don't forget, this is also very important. Satyagraha means you know very well about that ones. Okay. And fighting through what is a non-violence and everything. Hunger strike, this is the first times in India. I'm talking about the first one I told about the Champaran revolt is considered as first civil disobedience movement, and Kheda is known as the first non-cooperation movement. Ahmedabad mill strikes, Gandhiji used the first times in India Satyagraha, that word and practice, and he went for hunger strike also first times. What actually this Ahmedabad mill strikes means? There is a dispute between mill owners and the workers in Ahmedabad. Okay, that is a problem. What is a problem here? Owners wanted to withdraw the plague bonus. Here, cotton workers, mill workers, they are asking, they want to bonus. Owners, they don't want to give bonus also there. So what happened there? They are demanding for a 35% of their wages, but they don't want to give here. Gandhiji coming here and he led this strike there. Finally, mill owners accepted 35% of the bonus to the workers there. So all these three, Champaran revolt, Kheda movement, and Ahmedabad mill strikes, all these became what is it, successful. All the first movement of Gandhiji became successful. You have to understand, no failure. So first one is known as Champaran revolt is known as, yes, so can also be called as first civil disobedience movements. Kheda movement is known as non-cooperation movement, and Ahmedabad, the first times Gandhiji used the hunger strikes, otherwise Satyagraha, my dear children, don't forget, all these three became success. Okay, so because of that once, what is a Gandhiji, he became a national figure there. Because of all these three events got success. So because of that once, he became very successful persons among the public there. That is what I want to share with you also there. Now, if I going for this after this three, next main things started with, there are so many other facts which I want to discuss also. I will share also. Rowlatt Act, Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Before going for that, we'll discuss this also. This Lucknow Pact. I told you 1916, Lucknow session only. This Rajkumar Shukla invited Gandhiji to Champaran, to what is there, Bihar. So this is the sessions. Lucknow sessions only. Gandhiji and Rajkumar Shukla met each other. Don't forget. You might be knowing also Muslim League was formed in 1906 in Dhaka in Bangladesh. You know very well. Whereas Indian National Congress was formed in 1885 in what is there? First they planned in Pune, but it was done in Bombay only there, December 25. So Indian National Congress was the oldest political organization in India. That means that happens in 19th century. But Muslim League was formed in Dhaka, in presently we call it as Bangladesh, 1906. But when I talk about 1906, you have to remember about 1905 also. 1905, you know that once Bengal divided into two parts by the very important Lord Curzons. You know very well about that ones. What is the main reason for that ones? Only to divide the Bengal into West Bengal and East Bengal based on the religion. West Bengal mainly most of the people were Hindus, and East Bengal most of the people were Muslims. So here Lord Curzon wanted what is a kind of communal clashes between Hindus and Muslims, so that Britishers can take advantages out of it. That is the reason they divided Bengal into two parts, West Bengal and East Bengal in 1905. 1947, this East Bengal became East Pakistan, And 1971, this East Pakistan became Bangladesh. So presently, Bangladesh was a part of India in 1905. That means the man who divided what happened there, Bengal, into two parts, Lord Curzon in 1905. Next year, Muslim League was formed there. So question can ask also 1905, partition of Bengal by Lord Curzon, what was the aim? What was the objective of that one? Means you have to remember to make communal clashes between Hindus and Muslims. But later, since the majority of the population in the East Bengal were Muslims, then Pakistan asked the merging this East Bengal into Pakistan. Then 1947, East Bengal became part of Pakistan, known as East Pakistan. But 1971, Srimati Indira Gandhi helped Bangladesh government to make the Bangladesh free from Pakistan's, and they formed. That is why Srimati Indira Gandhi got an award there. Okay, country awards. Bangladesh gave award to Srimati Indira Gandhi. Indian Army went there. There was operations. So helped Bangladesh people to freed from Pakistan and everything. 1971, Bangladesh came in force there. Remember, it was a part of India, one of the jute producing area. Most of the jute producing area went to Bangladesh or Pakistan. It is because of 1905 partition of Bengal. Okay, that's why we say that one, which is the largest producing jute state in India, means remember Bengal. Now also Bengal only largest producing jute in India, but most producing part went to Bangladesh. That you have to remember. So then I'm telling, so Lucknow Pact 1916, don't forget Gandhiji's participation. Rajiv Kumar Shukla invited him and he went to Champaran. In this Lucknow Pact means you have to remember always, till that one Indian National Congress and Muslim League had no unity among themselves. But in this Lucknow Pact, Muhammad Ali Jinnah and Indian National Congress had what is united for in a national political scene, but it was only for short period of the times. But this was the first times Indian National Congress and Muslim League. Otherwise, most of the people in the Indian National Congress were Hindus. That is the reason they made it to this All India Muslim League in the year of 1906. Always they had a difference there, but they first times united. So because of this Lucknow Pact in 1916, don't forget. Okay, don't forget this Lucknow Pact is very, 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 very important. Don't forget. So what actually happens there? First World War times, what was the promise by the British there? If they support, if Indians supported to East India Company, sorry, if Indians support Britishers during the time of the First World War times, they will be given the representation to their legislature. That was a practice. That was a promise. So there was a diarchy system, you might be knowing also, was formulated in the year of 1909. 1909, 1919, Indian Council Act of 1909, Indian Council Act of 1919. What is the speciality of 1909? 1909 Indian Council Act made proportion for an electoral roll there. Electoral roll is there. When we are going to studies about what is it is very important. Pune Pact. We are going to study now. Pune Pact. We are going to study. 1932. We are going to study. That is a agreement between Gandhiji and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Now we are studying Lucknow Pact. Lucknow Pact is kind of the relation between Indian National Congress and All India Muslim League there. Muhammad Ali Jinnah was ready to accept all the provisions, otherwise agreements made by the Indian National Congress there. Okay, what was there? Their joint approach by the Hindus and Muslims for constitutional reforms. So, okay, so Jinnah and Jawaharlal Nehru and actively participated for this joint sessions, and this was held in Lucknow in the month of December 1916. There, here, Indian National Congress and the League, they confirmed the agreements, and that is why it is known as Lucknow Pact. So, Lucknow Pact 1916. Remember, my dear children, one thing is very clear, that once the joint venture of Muslims and Hindus first time, or Indian National Congress and Muslim Leagues first times, they agreed each other for constitutional reforms for the country. So it is because of 1916 Lucknow Pact there. Okay, that means first times Hindu Muslim unity at the international level or national level. But it was It remained only for short period of the times. So whenever this Lucknow Pact comes, means remember Hindu Muslims joined. Okay, Indian National Congress and All India Muslim League joined. Muhammad Ali Jinnah and what is it? We can remember Jawaharlal Nehru, Motilal Nehru, and the groups all they joined. So first, this that means it is the first times Hindu Muslim unity at national level. Okay, don't forget that is important. That's the agreement. This agreement made between Congress and the Muslim League in this Lucknow session in 1916. So whenever Lucknow Pact, if you listen, you remember 1916, unity between Hindus and Muslims, unity between Indian National Congress and All India Muslim League. Here, Muhammad Ali Jinnah agreed all the conditions of Indian National Congress. That you have to understand one thing. Then another one is their home rule movement. That also before going forward, you have to understand, because this is one of the expected questions been asking in many times in different examinations. Home rule movement, you have to remember two things there. What is the why this home rule movement was started first? What was the reason there? You have to understand, to get the self rule. That means autonomy, self government in India. That's the purpose. Home rule. I mean that word itself is their meaning. So when this question asks what is the meaning, why this home rule movement was started by Annie Besant and Tilak? Two people are there. One person started in Pune, another person started in Adayar in Madras. That means one is in South India, another is in what is there central part of India there. Then question is there, who started first in India? Bala Gangadhar Tilak started first. Thereafter Annie Besant started there. Now, then what is the background behind this home rule movement in 1916? That you have to remember. Question can ask what is the main or aim of this home rule movement? How many home rules movement started in India? Two you have to think. One in South India, another is in Central India. Okay, so one is in Adayar in Madras, another is Pune in Maharashtra. Don't forget this ones. Okay, then started in Maharashtra in Pune, Bala Gangadhar Tilak. Don't forget. Now here, 1909 Act. That means Monday Minto-Morley reforms. Government of India Act 1909 is known as Minto-Morley Act. 1919 is known as Montague-Chelmsford Act. It was purely dissatisfactory because it's giving more emphasis for electoral role there. That means they are dividing communal ways. They are dividing the Indian society based on the communal. Already they started 1905. 1905, what happened there? Bengal divided into two parts based on Hindus and Muslims. Now 1909 Indian Council Act, otherwise Minto-Morley Act, mainly focusing on what is their communal reforms. That's why it got dissatisfied by many Indian what is their rulers. And before this Indian Council Act 1909, Indian National Congress divided into two groups. So first split of Indian National Congress, first time. Thereafter, many times in 1923 it is split there. 1923 it is split there. But you have to remember first split in Indian National Congress 1907. So here I discuss about 1905 partition of Bengal. Bengal divided into West Bengal and East Bengal based on the religion. I told Lord Curzon. I told the reason. Now, second one I told about the 1906 All India Muslim League was set up in Dhaka in Bangladesh. Third, 1907 Indian National Congress divided into two parts. You might have heard also extremist and moderate. Extremist means Lal Pal Bal. Don't forget their names. They were the leader of extremists. In the beginning, they got wide support from all the people in the country. Late, whereas other groups, what is there, Gopalakrishna Gokhale and all this thing. Gopalakrishna Gokhale died 1915 when Gandhiji came here. So Gandhiji came to India 1915. Gopalakrishna Gokhale died. Okay, so before 8 years before, Indian National Congress divided into two parts: moderate and extremists. So extremist means they purely believing in the violence. That means independent is possible only through violence. But other groups, they did not believe the violence, they start believing in non-violence. So Indian National Congress first times divided. Okay, this is known as Surat split. Don't forget. Surat split, don't forget. So first I told Lucknow Pact, I told don't forget unity between what is Indian National Congress and Indian National Congress and All India Muslim Leagues. My dear children, if you feel it, so you can write down also, not a problem. These are all expected questions we are sharing today. That is why I'm focused on 1915 to 1948. Then I will go to 1847 to 1915. Because important wise, I'm going to teach you. That may be useful to you. After finishing this one only, we have to discuss one class contribution of governor generals. Then I will go to different dynasties. Different most important dynasties, which generally asking for all the times. Okay, that is very important. So here, what I want to discuss here it is Lucknow Pact. Don't forget. Okay, Surat split. That's what a split means. Dividing. Surat. This Indian National Congress split into two groups in the Indian National Congress sessions held in Surat. Surat where it is Gujarat only. So Indian National Congress divided first times into two groups. What is extremists and moderates. I told you extremists means Lal Pal Bal. Lal means Lala Lajpat Rai. Can anyone say? Lala Lajpat Rai, Bala Gangadhar Tilak, and one more person.
Bipin Chandra Pal.
Bipin Chandra Pal.
Yeah, excellent.
Bipin Chandra Pal.
So they are one group. So if question ask, Surat split means what? You may remember, first times Indian National Congress divided into extremist and moderate in the year of 1907. Oh, this is known as Surat split. Then make you confused. Sometimes you'll ask, what is actually Lucknow Pact? Oh, this is actually the agreement between All India means Muslim League and Indian National Congress. Excellent. First times. Then these are all order wise, I'm telling. 1905, division of Bengal. 1906, formation of All India Muslim League. 1907, Surat splits, where first times Congress party divided into two parts. Then Government of India Act 1909, it is also known as Minto-Morley reforms there. What is the most important provisions under this act is you have to understand communal differences. That means they want to have the electoral roll based on community. That means religious division they want to make. That is why it was dissatisfactory among all the peoples. So don't forget. Okay. So in one more is there, Indian leaders had a confusion also during these times because World War started. First World War started in the year of 1914 till it extended till 1918. So Indian leaders, they had a confusion whether they have to support Britain or not. Okay, but British people, what they promised they made there, if they support, that means if India supported the British for the First World War times, definitely they will give the representation in their legislatures. So because of the promise, they participated. I already told that one. So, extremists led by Tilak had to separate from Congress. But this time what happened? Tilak was sent to Mandle. He was sent exile. Okay, so Tilak was not here. That time Gandhiji was not here. Bala Gangadhar Tilak was the most important ruler. After Gandhiji's arrival only, Bala Gangadhar Tilak went into the second or other leaders. Gandhiji started taking the leaderships. So before Gandhiji taking the leadership, Bala Gangadhar Tilak was the main leader under extremists. That's what I'm telling. In the beginning, extremist groups got a wide popularity. But later, when Gandhiji came there, extremists became what he said second, and the moderate came in first levels, and it was widely appreciated and widely got support from the Indian mass community there. Okay, but in the beginning, Bala Gangadhar Tilak and group got support, but later when Gandhiji came, because Gandhiji did not believe on this violence, he was purely believing on what is non-violence. So there was a kind of confusions among the Indian leaders. Then they want World War started. So what happened actually? Extremists left from the Indian National Congress and they are working on different way there. But in 1915, what happens? This party group which they left this Indian National Congress, again they joined back. It is because of Annie Besant. Okay, Annie Besant, because of her pressure. Okay, don't forget about this one, because Annie Besant was the first times what is their Indian National Congress leader also. That is very important that you have to understand always. Okay, so I am talking about Annie Besant played a very important role for what is their uniting these extremist groups into Indian National Congress. That is very, very important. So you have to remember. So India, who played here role for the, who played a role here to unite these extremist groups? That is very, very important there. Okay, that is very, very important that Ani Besant played a very, very important role, or played a very important role to unite this extremist groups into Indian National Congress. That you have to understand always. Okay, so I think I already discussed with you. She opened this movement. That means I'm talking about the home rule movement. Especially it happens in which place I have discussed with you in Adayar in Chennai. Don't forget Pune. This is, don't confuse who started first. Then immediately whenever home rule movement is there, immediately we remember that one's Ani Besant. No, Ani Besant was not the first person, because there she was waiting for the permission from the Indian National Congress that everybody's support is required for setting up of this home rule movement. Before that, only Tilak started in Pune. That is the reason Tilak started first this home rule movement in India. That you don't forget. That you don't forget any times there. It is very important matter. Don't forget at any points, because many times it been asked also there. Don't forget. This question is very important. Either Ani Besant or Bala Gangadhar Tilak, who started first this home rule movement in India. You have to write about Bala Gangadhar Tilak. That is very, very important, because why is she pressurizing these people to join this extremist groups to International Congress? Because she was leading International Congress that times. So don't forget about that point also. Otherwise, we call it as a Theosophical Society, and all you might have studied also about when we start talking about Ani Besant and all these things. So don't forget the role played by the Ani Besants for uniting this extremist groups. Don't forget about that points, which I want to share you, make you also there. So then after I discuss this also, then why, what is necessary for the home rule movement? Because Indian leaders, Tilak was imprisoned there. He was in Mandle in 1980 to 1914. Tilak was not here. Okay, then Indian leaders, other leaders had a confusion that whether they have to support Britain or not there. Tilak came there. So Ani Besant pressurized all other Indian leaders to join these extremist groups into International Congress also there. A kind of ambiguity remained in the, what is the Indian freedom movement there that times. So Ani Besant's focus on the self-government is required, because Britishers also will obey or listen, because like the First World War is going on. Whatever Indian leaders ask, they may accept the offer also there. So in order to achieve this aim of self-government in India, home rule movement was started in Pune, first by Tilak, and thereafter Ani Besant started home rule movements. Don't forget this Lucknow Pact and home rule movement same year 1916. Thereafter only Champaran Revolt 1917, then Kheda movement 1918, Ahmedabad strikes 1918. Thereafter Rowlatt Act is coming. There is very important. Rowlatt Act and Jallianwala Bagh massacre is closely connected, because Jallianwala Bagh massacre happens, it is because of Rowlatt Act there. Rowlatt Act, you know, it is known as Black Act there. Okay, who made this act? The person name itself is a Rowlatt, Sir Sidney Rowlatt. Okay, he set up this act there. What is the objective of this act? Any person can be imprisoned at any times without any court or trials for 2 years. So this became a something what is a different, and it was not maintaining any fundamental rights of the, or rights of the citizens. So that is why it got this wide protest across the country because of this act there. So don't forget. So Rowlatt Act 1919 was formulated by Sir Sidney Rowlatt. Why? To stop militant nationalist activity in India. That is a purpose. That means extremist groups is there. The extremist groups I already discussed with you. Lal Pal Bal. They want to fight. They want to apply violence practice in order to get the, what is their freedoms. So in order to stop that militant kind of activities in India, Sir Sidney Rowlatt he passed an act which was known as Rowlatt Act in the year of, what is there, It is very important. 1919. So the committee was set up in 1917, and 2 years after they submitted this report there by the legislative. So what actually happened there? It is one liberty of the people were restricted. People cannot move, they cannot walk, they cannot enjoy the freedom there. And it is very important also speedy trial of offense by the special courts of 3 high court judges, but no appeal also. You cannot go to appeal, and without trial also. Early practice, you know very well. We have to go to court. All the court of activities must be carried there. But as per this one, government can arrest or imprison any persons because of the suspect enough, without trial for 2 years. Because of that ones, actually it is a suspending the what is there the right of habeas corpus. Habeas corpus, you know very well. It is one of the what is there a basic right of the citizen of the what is in England and all. Habeas corpus, produce a person before the court. I think last day I was about to tell this comes under article number 32, habeas corpus. So what I want to tell in brief matter, Rowlatt Act means any person can be imprisoned at any times with any reasons without any trial for 2 years. Okay, this is what actually about this one. Don't forget about this one. So because of this one, what actually happens, that is very important matter. So countrywide, whole country participate the activity led by Gandhiji. Okay, that is another one also you have to remember there. And this is also a reason for foundation of non-cooperation movements. Just before I told the first non-cooperation movement, just before I told about the Kheda movement, I told. But this is the real non-cooperation movement that can be called as a non-cooperation movements. But real non-cooperation movements held in 1920 to 1922. Don't forget. So this non-cooperation movement is the baby of Rowlatt Act. Jallianwala Bagh massacre is also the baby of Rowlatt Act, that you have to understand. So Gandhiji organized the Satyagraha in order to defend or oppose Rowlatt Act there on 14 February 1919. But unfortunately, Gandhiji was arrested. Gandhiji was arrested because of this act there. Under this Rowlatt Act 1919, Gandhiji was suspected and he was arrested under this Rowlatt Act in the year of 1919, same year. So Punjab, what happened there? So there was a great support to this Rowlatt Satyagraha. Otherwise, Rowlatt Satyagraha means what? Satyagraha against Rowlatt Act is known as Rowlatt Satyagraha. So Punjab, there was a kind of agitations. Two prominent leaders of Punjab. I'm talking about Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Dr. Satyapal and Dr. Saifuddin Kichlu. Don't forget that two people named there. These two people were arrested there in Amritsar. That also under this act, Rowlatt Act there. Okay, this arrest of these two peoples made what is Jallianwala Bagh massacre there. So facing violent situation, Punjab government, what they have done it under, you might have knowing also there, General Dyer, what is already they announced, banned all public meetings and everything. But actually they gathered in Amritsar. The place name is gone as Jallianwala Bagh. What happened there? General Dyer came there. He started shooting at the innocent people who were sitting without any arms there. Around 379 leaders, people were killed there also because of this act. They don't forget why these people started sitting there. You have to remember why Dr. Satyapal and Dr. Saifuddin Kichlu were arrested there, because in order to protest against the Rowlatt Act. Okay, arrested. So people gathered there to show their anger on this arrest there. General Dyer came there along with his police there, start shooting at the peoples around the innocent people were killed. Around 379 people were killed there. Don't forget. Who was this General Dyer there? He was a governor of Punjab there. Don't forget that also. But later stages, commission was appointed. The commission name was Hunter Commission. The Hunter Commission also justified the activity of General Dyer. That means General Dyer was saved by Hunter Commissions. That means Hunter Commission supported what is there, the massacre of General Dyer there. So one small boy was watching all this act there, who later went to England and killed General Dyer. Can you tell me who was the person?
Udham Singh.
Udham Singh.
Yeah, very good, excellent. Udham Singh. Udham Singh was the persons. Okay, he went to 1940. That means remember 1919, Jallianwala Bagh massacre happens. How many years after you see that once? Around 21 years after he went to London. Why? March 13, he went there to London to kill this General Dyer there. While he was speaking in one of the hall in London, he was shot. He killed General Dyer. But remember, you know that once going to London and killing one officer there means what will happen? He was caught and hanged in London. So Udham Singh was caught by the police and hanged him in London itself there. So remember all these points very clearly. Why this Jallianwala Bagh massacre happens? It is because of the arrest of two Punjab leaders, Dr. Satyapal and Saifuddin Kichlu. Why they started arresting? It is because they protested against Rowlatt Act. Then what was this Rowlatt Act? You have to understand, can arrest any persons. The main purpose of passing this bill is that to stop all kind of militant activities in India there, so that any person can be arrested any times for without any trial for 2 years minimum. Sorry, maximum 2 years. Okay, so that is the purpose behind this Rowlatt Act, that you should understand. This act is known as Black Act. Under this act, Gandhiji was arrested and imprisoned also there. 1919, don't forget, while he was organizing Satyagraha. So don't forget. And because of this one only, non-cooperation movement also held up in our country. So here, because of the Rowlatt Act, two events started. One is the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Another one is their non-cooperation movement. So don't forget. Okay, when we start the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, you know very well about this one. What is there? The same times I want to discuss about one more event happens in our country. Can you spend some more times? Or you want to be free?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You want to free now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then I'll stop now. If you want to go ahead.
You can take class.
Shall I continue? That's all up to you. I want to continue. I have no issue. I'm so happy there because so that I can discuss everything. We can finish 1 or 2 class. Day after tomorrow also I have a class. Today I was asking to sir, I want daily class 1 hour at least. At least alternative I have class so that we'll finish. These are all very important. Listening is very, very important rather than reading. Shall I continue?
Yes, sir.
Till what time?
Yes, sir.
Till what time? Till what time? Tell me.
5:15.
5:30 or 5:15?
5:30.
5:15. Okay. First one, Khilafat movement is also very important. Already I discussed with you. Already I discussed one thing with you. It is a similarity with this one. What I told here, Lucknow Pact there. Lucknow Pact I told in 1960. There was a unity between Indian National Congress and All India Muslim League. Now again Indian National Congress and Muslim League is going to join now because of this act. Khilafat movement, don't forget. Khilafat movement is not at all related to India. Remember, my dear children, if I tell in brief, you should understand, in Muslim Islam religion has two sects. One is their Sunnis and Shias. You know very well about it. So one group believing that Muhammad Prophet as the head of their religion. Another groups believe that once Khalifa is their head of the religion. Then you may have doubt, sir, who actually this Khalifa? Khalifa means like Pope, you know, Vatican City. Vatican City, you know very well. The head of the Vatican City is known as Pope. Marpapa, otherwise Pope. He is the head of the, what is there, Christians in the world, especially Catholics Christians. He is the head. Whole world, he is a head. Likewise, Muslims also have a head in all the world there. Okay, but that was gone later stages. That I'll discuss with you. So Khilafat was a failure. Anyway, that we'll discuss. So what happened? Khilafat movement during the Second World War time. This Turkey ruler means Khalifa only. Khalifa is the head of the Muslims. All the Muslims in the world treat Khalifa as a head. Don't forget. This head was insulted and humiliated by the Britain. Okay, during the time of Second World War. Don't forget. Second World War times I discussed with you. 1914 to 1918, during the First World War time, Turkey Sultan, otherwise Khalifa is a Turkey Sultan, was defeated and humiliated, okay, by the British. It was a great insult for the Muslims in the world, insulting their Caliphate, insulting their religious head in the world there. Okay, that means whatever treaty made after the First World War, Treaty of Sevres in 1920, that was totally broken, not followed there. So taken all the Turkey land also there, humiliated the Caliphate there. Okay, that means total humiliation and insult to Caliphate by the Britons. So the whole Muslims in the world got anger on British company or British government there. So in order to show their anger, okay, in order to show their anger on British government in India, Muslim leaders, they joined what is their Indian National Congress. So here I discussed in 1916 Indian National Congress and Indian National Congress and All India Muslim League joined together. It is because of, I told you that once, a joint venture between what is a Muslim leader Muhammad Ali Jinnah and Congress leaders. So first times Indian National Congress and Muslim League joined, I told you, 1916. What is a Lucknow Pact. Here now first times All India Muslim League joins what is their Indian National Congress after 1916. It is because to show their anger on British government in India. Okay, this is also very important. So why Khilafat movement launched in India? You have to remember their leader, their Khalifa was insulted by, humiliated by Britain during the First World War time. The Treaty of Sevres was broken. The whatever promise or agreement made with the Turkey ruler, Turkey Sultan, Khalifa, that was totally broken by the British government. So it was purely what is their humiliation to their Khalifa, and all the Muslims in the world, they wanted to restore the Khalifa to his old positions. Here, that is the main purpose. They started a movement in India in the year of 1920. Don't forget, 1920, two things happened in India. One is their non-cooperation movement. Second one, Khilafat movement. Don't forget. So both joined together and worked also there. Okay, don't forget. But Khilafat movement was a failure. That is another one because of the other issues. That means Mustafa Kemal Pasha, he abolished the Khilafat and made Turkey as a secular state. Then this Khilafat got its lost its importance. Khilafat movement was not a successful movement. It was a failure because what purpose they started this movements got failed because Turkey became, so what is a secular state. Okay, so Muslims in the world, they wanted to take revenge on the British government, but what happened? Turkey itself became what is a secular state there because I told that one. Mustafa Kemal Pasha abolished this Khalifa systems from Turkey, and he made secular state Turkey as secular state there. So this Khilafat movement is failure. Don't forget about it. So the reason you should understand why Khilafat movement started. Then question may ask also, along with the Khilafat movement, which other movement started? Then remember non-cooperation movements. Okay, don't forget. When you start talking about non-cooperation movements, you have to remember first non-cooperation movements, which is known as first non-cooperation movements, but it is not a first non-cooperations. So can be called that is Kheda movement. Don't forget. So first one I told Gandhiji's Champaran, Kheda, then Allahabad, I told. Then after, you have to remember this one is there. Rowlatt Act is coming there, 1990. Jallianwala Bagh Massacre, 1919. Don't forget. Then non-cooperation movements, 1920. Khilafat movement, 1920. Don't forget that one. Now, let me talk in details because question cannot be asked directly. It may ask indirectly also there. Now, this Khilafat committee formed 1919 October month. The whole country observed it as a Khilafat day. So question can ask also which day is known as the Khilafat day there. So you can remember 19th October. And 23rd November 19 joined the conference between Hindus and Muslims under the chairmanship of Gandhiji. Don't forget. Now I'm talking about the Khilafat movement joined with the non-cooperation. That means Indian National Congress and the All India Muslim League joined first time after 1916. But 1916 was only agreement. There was agreement between them. There was no movement. first movement between Muslims and the Hindus, that means you have to remember Khilafat movement only. That was actually agreement between Jinnah and Congress leaders. They first time united and they demanded for a constitutional reforms in India. But Khilafat movement was not like this. They're fighting against Britishers. So first times, what is there? All India Muslim League joined Indian National Congress to fight against Britishers. Okay, so that you have to remember both the differences. Lucknow Pact and the Khilafat movements both are different, but both the Indian National Congress and Muslim League both joined there. Okay, so you have to remember the differences. You have to remember the similarity also there. And who was the leader of this Khilafat movement in India? Question asked Mahatma Gandhi ji, not Jinnah. Okay, that's very important because here joined venture of Hindus and Muslims under the chairmanship of Mahatma Gandhi. So don't forget that point is very, very important. This Khilafat movement brought Hindus and Muslims together to get India's independence first times. Don't confuse, my dear. Lucknow Pact, don't confuse. Lucknow Pact is the agreement between Jinnah and the leaders, Indian National Congress leaders for constitutional reforms. Here, Indian National Congress and the Muslim League first time joined to fight against Britishers to achieve the independence. That is Khilafat movement first. Okay. All are listening or not, sir? Okay. Now, February Gandhiji suggested Khilafat committee. They adopted a programs of non-cooperation to protest against. I already discussed with you. Khilafat committee at Allahabad had accepted the suggestion of non-cooperation and asked the Gandhiji to lead a movement there. That means Gandhiji is the leader of Khilafat movement. Gandhiji is the leader of a non-cooperation movement. Here, one point is very important, my dear children. Hindus and Muslims. Okay, Khilafat committee at Allahabad, don't forget, accepted non-cooperations. That means which one started first, either Khilafat movement or non-cooperation movement. You have to remember Khilafat movement. Khilafat movement started first and had a joint conference with Hindus, otherwise Congress party, and Allahabad sessions, joint sessions of Khilafat committee accepted non-cooperation and Gandhiji to asked Gandhiji to lead the movements. See how that non-cooperation movement is coming. That you have to understand very clearly. Okay, and what they have done it, they surrendered all the titles. Okay, it's very important. They surrendered all the titles. That means I told Kaiser, Hinda, and all they surrendered. Resignations, they all resigned from different services. They stopped paying taxes and everything. It's a non-cooperation. This is not at all cooperating with the British government in India there. But I told you that when Khilafat movement was a failure because Turkey became secular state there. How done? But Khilafat movement started first there. Thereafter only this non-cooperation movement came into the picture there. Okay, so there's a question. Khilafat or like I discussed with you last times, drafting committee or Indian independence came first. Okay, there's a confusion. Drafting committee setups or India got independence first. So it is definitely India got independence. August 15. August 29 only what happened there? That drafting committee was set up. Similarly, Khilafat movement or non-cooperation movement which came first, you have to remember Khilafat movements because Khilafat movement is closely connected with the World War first there. Okay, it is actually international politics. Khilafat movement is closely connected to international politics. It is nowhere related to linked to Indian politics. That is very important because the Turki Sultan was insulted. Turki Sultan was humiliated. Because of that one, in India, Muslims they start a fight against Britishers. So because of this one, they planned for a non-cooperation movements. Gandhiji became leader. So truly speaking, Khilafat movement and non-cooperation movement, Gandhiji was a leader of this one. But non-cooperation movement withdrawn, it is because of Chauri Chaura movement there. You might be knowing also Chauri Chaura movement, 21 plus 1, 22 people what happened there where that is what the next one we'll discuss about all those points only there. What happened there? Chauri Chaura movement, police officials were killed. Chauri Chaura, it is Uttar Pradesh. There 22 police service people were burned alive. Then Gandhiji withdrew non-cooperation movements 1922. Okay, 1921 it happens and he withdrew that one. Which one? Non-cooperation movement. Okay, my dear, we'll meet there. Can you tell me tomorrow, any time you tell me other than daily, can I take any class, my dear? Please tell me. Please listen classrooms. It is enough for you. I can expect many questions. Dynasty, especially dynasty. I'm going to discuss only 10 dynasty because most important for UPSC examination. I want to discuss with you 10 dynasty minimum. From there, I can hope that one n number of questions can be asked there. Then few governor generals, I want to discuss their contributions. Okay, then we have to go for a economics few points I want to discuss. You tell me anytime I am ready to take the class. Today I requested some administrations. They told you will get alternatives. If I am getting alternatives, but till 30, today 17, we have weekly, hardly 1 week. Ops, if you postpone means it is nice examinations. We can have some more days. Anyway, you told me till 17, 15. Yeah, definitely. Somebody is telling upload the notes there. I'm uploading one after. I will give the today important topics what you have to study for a general knowledge. General knowledge is every year I'm watching. Same only coming. Okay. So this tomorrow evening I will upload there. Okay. Tomorrow evening whole day I will sit and upload what you have to study, what you have to practice. I'm not telling that only how to practice. Some I told you some smart work you have to do there. So you go through that one first, then you can practice others also. Because I'm watching. Yes, definitely. At what time I have to take class? You tell me. I have not an issue there. 7:30 to 8:30. Possible, I will take 7:30 to 8:30. If you are ready to, if you are ready, then I will come and take the 7:30 to 8 o'clock. Because these 2 weeks maybe it may be useful for you. But one thing, I have to take permission from authority. You excuse me. Tomorrow morning, day after tomorrow morning onwards, I will have the class. 7:30 to very good morning and evening 1 hour. We can have so many sessions and we can discuss many things. Okay, one more session means I'll finish this Gandhi era till 1948. We'll discuss. Then we'll go for 1857. 1857 to we'll go to 1915. Then I'll go for dynasty. Okay, this is my plans. Important wise we can discuss. Okay, by this we can wind now. Thank you so much. I'll send the note tomorrow. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.